Okay, so today was day 19 of the Karen Reed trial. We heard from the Massachusetts State Crime Lab forensics expert on what happened when she went down to the Sally Port in Canton and removed the taillight. First, she told the story to ADA Lally, and then she told the story, answered questions about it to Jackson, and then I'm going to show you a clip from day 5. He tells us and shows video of what happened when they removed the taillight. So I guess we'll get to add all this together and decide for ourselves which pieces are true or not. Let me know in the comments what you think.
Now, as far as that taillight assembly was concerned, how was that collected, or what, if any, issues did you have with regard to collecting?
I removed the taillight. Once I had the taillight housing in my possession, I did have trouble disconnecting it from the vehicle. So a police officer on scene did help me disconnect it from the vehicle so that I could properly package it.
And as far as what exactly was it that that officer helped you do, or what, if anything, did he do?
I believe he just removed, helped undo the wires that were in the back of the taillight so that I could properly hold it and didn't have to place it down anywhere.
So you had two hands on the taillight as he was performing that, is that correct?
Yes, I believe I did.
And as far as the area of the taillight that you were holding, you were wearing gloves, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And as far as that area that you were holding with your two gloved hands, did that officer touch any area of that part of the taillight?
Not to my recollection, no.
Ultimately, the right rear taillight housing was removed, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Were you the person, Ms. Hartnett, who actually used the tools to remove that taillight, be it screwdrivers, wrenches, anything else?
No.
Who was that actually did that work?
It was a Canton police officer that had entered the garage, and as I was removing it, he offered to help. He said he knew how to basically take it out of the housing, which at that point, I was not sure how I would do that.
Okay.
Now, Lieutenant, during this part of the video, in addition to the people that you've already referenced, who, if anyone else, was in the garage at that time?
It's hard for me to say. I believe this is the criminalist. I believe if this is Trooper Proctor, this is me with the gray shirt, dress shirt, walking in. That's me right there. And that's Trooper Proctor. I believe the photographer or another criminologist is here. I don't know what their title is.
Now, at some point during the execution of this search warrant, what, if any, issues did you become aware of with regard to the criminalist?
They were having trouble. They were trying to remove the housing to the taillight, passenger side taillight, and they were having difficulty removing it.
And what, if any, assistance did you offer with regard to that?
I told them that we had an officer working who was in charge of our fleet maintenance and our mobile operations unit, who probably had the tools to do it. And he also had vast, extensive experience in auto body.
Who was that, sir?
That's Officer Brian Wanless.
And what, if anything, did you do with reference to Officer Wanless in regard to that area of the car?
I asked dispatch to ask him to return at approximately, I think it was 9:50.
And Ms. Gilman, if I could ask you to, if not already there, move it up to 9:51 a.m. If you could just pause it for one moment, Ms. Gilman. So with reference to this particular portion of the video, Lieutenant, if you could direct the jury's attention to when you see Officer Wanless and when you see him come over towards that area of the vehicle. And Ms. Gilman, for your purposes, what I would ask is we run this from essentially 9:51 a.m. through to about 9:58 and 30 seconds.
This is Officer Wanless right here. He examines it and he leaves momentarily. He dons a pair of gloves. And he exits, and he's going to come back with some tools. There he comes. He places his toolkit on the tailgate.
Objection, Your Honor.
Okay, pause and ask a question.
And from your review of this video, what, if anything, do you observe Officer Wanless do with reference to that rear passenger side taillight?
He re-enters the sally port and with some tools, and he places his toolkit down on the tailgate of the Lexus.
And what, if anything, do you observe him do after that?
He begins to work on the housing of the taillight.
Ms. Gilman, if you could press. Thank you, Ms. Gilman. You can take that.
The removal of that light.
Yes,
And during the course of the removal of that light, a taillight was broken, correct?
that's correct.
And shattered.
Yes.
Parts of it that were falling onto the ground.
I don't think there was anything falling on the ground at that point.
So now we do have evidence that that taillight, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, was broken or broken more once it was inside the Sally Port in Canton PD's custody.
You're gonna have to rephrase that. I don't understand the broken more part.
During the removal process, that light was broken even more.
No.
And during the course of the removal of that light, a taillight was broken, correct?
That's correct.
And shattered.
Yes.
All right, we're looking at what's previously been marked as 165. Does that appear to be a photo of the hair?
Would it be possible just to zoom in on that,
Absolutely.
the
This is not
sticker?
an eye contest.
And just a little bit, I'm just trying to read the letter on the white marker. Yes, so that, correct.
So that hair looks, as we're looking at it, you will agree, that hair looks like almost like a backward C, correct? In other words, it looks like it's more vertical than flat in that photograph, correct?
I would agree it looks like a C on the side of the car.
If we could go to exhibit 173. And this is the same hair photographed a second time, correct?
If we could, again, just zoom in on that sticker. Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Hartnett, does it look to you like between the first and the second photographs, that hair has moved? It's no longer an inverted C, but a C.
I don't know that I necessarily agree with that. I see the two ends, which may still be making contact with the vehicle. I can't make that determination based on this photo.
Fair enough. So that was sort of my next question. I'll just dovetail it this way. Did it appear to you that the hair, which is curled, was making contact with the vehicle on the top point and the bottom point?
I would say from this photo, I honestly can't tell if those two ends are coming off the vehicle or touching the vehicle. I just can't make that determination.